Good evening, welcome back. It's been a long time. And I've been doing other things. I've been a busy boy. I'm actually writing a book at the moment, and so I've kind of immersed myself in that for a little while, which is coming on very nicely. And I'd always wanted to write a book all my life, and maybe we're about to finally complete it. So we are back here at Ipswich, and after the glory of last season, this season has turned out to be a nightmare. Not only did we lose both the Community Shield and the UEFA Super Cup, but we lost one of our Premier League fixtures in that crazy game against Leicester, and we beat Nottingham Forest only just, and we drew with Leeds in the very poor 0-0 draw. So it does seem to me like this season is going to be slightly different. And we are still not done with the transfer window. And I can't remember if I've done anything. I haven't done anything as yet. But I have identified players that we could bring in. And I do still have 97 million in the bank, although the wage budget is a little bit overdrawn, shall we say. But I'm pretty sure that it's possible to bring somebody in. I think we still probably need a winger. We're going to have to look for that winger. I think probably a left winger who can play possibly on the right as well. And I've made a couple of tweaks to the tactic. I think the inverted wing back wasn't working. Callum, James, good to see you. Doing personal research on him and making dinner. Busy boy. And Callum, good to see you again, my friend. And yeah, it's not been the greatest of starts, but I've made a couple of tweaks to the tactic. And hopefully we're going to start picking up again. But we've got to get through this transfer window. And we've somehow got to recover some of the form that we were showing last season. Last season, we only lost 3 games total. And this season is plummeting towards despair. Although somebody did say to me that they have been running a similar save. And in his save, the season after he won the Prem, it turned out to be the most dreadful season, but he eventually managed to finish 6th when expectations were high. And so maybe that's where we're going with this. We also have, as I remember, we also do have the looming job offer. We still haven't had an interview, and it's been a long time since they posted the advert. But I am still 5-4 favourite to pick up that job. I don't know. I can't explain why these teams keep coming in for me, why I keep getting named as favourite, why I keep getting offered the job. But I haven't had an interview, but we are currently 5-4 favourite. So that is still looming. And as I made an assist already. As always, working tomorrow. Yeah, it's as always, I will be working tomorrow as well. I'm going to spend a lot of time working on my book. I want to get that finished now before it's too late. So yeah, we're all busy. So let's just try and figure out. I still believe that in terms of my squad, I need a left winger. Newerton, a decent player, but he's not as good as I would want out on the left-hand side. Serge Arribas, certainly becoming a better player, but I believe he's better on the right. We've brought in Franca on the right, who is a decent player. So it is this left-hand space we want to fill. I've brought in Zambrano. I do have Van Beek still as an option in midfield. I think I have plenty of options in midfield with Bajcetic. And my defence last year barely conceded a goal. And yet this year are probably the worst defence in the league at the moment. I have youngsters as well. Rua de Boa, who's a fullback, coming through. Simon Royal. Young players who are good but not great. Even Melvin Emmanuel, who I did transfer list at one point, but have decided to withdraw that. And there are still players who could possibly go out. Valesco being one, could leave. We just have to wait and see. But I want to have a look if we've got someone who could possibly fill in that left wing role. Bearing in mind the money that we've got, Thales Magno looks like a good player. Definitely, you guys were telling me last time that in FM he's outrageously good. Doesn't always go from save to save. And then Baranexus, probably avoid him because I can't say his name. Technically not as good as what we've just seen. It's a left winger more than any that I need. Darami, of course, is an option. 53 to 79 million. We can easily afford Darami, a good player whose name I can pronounce, which is helpful. And he could possibly do that role. And the price is about right. He's currently on 54,000 a week, so it's, I don't think, likely to be more than 100k. Let's just say we're keen. 48, this FM, between 48 and 73. We'll expect him to be a star player, and he's going to want a lot of money. A huge triple pay rise from what he's on now. So we'll see if we can bring that down. 115 to 150. That's probably more reasonable. And I think the Newcastle players did really well until the rest of the players were awful. Yeah, it's a strange save, this one. It's just doing my head in. Those of you who saw the song that I uploaded about FM26, FM24 just hurts my head at the moment. Chelsea are looking to generate funds. I think I should go ahead and make an offer. I think he's a good player. He will certainly bring something. I know we're not going to get him for that, but we'll go for that anyway. 52 up to 46 million. That's not what we were looking at just now. So we're going to try and bring that down a bit. 52, 25. Let's go 25. And that's fine. I could have gone lower probably. So for 77 million, I'm not too unhappy with that. And it's the 52 up front. And he is incredibly interested. So I think now we have probably got the wages that we need. Regular starter, that's okay. And we've probably got that kind of money. And we'll suggest, now he wants a little bit more. Let's just tie him down a little bit. Okay, so we'll see if we can bring Darami in. We do need a left winger. That's what we've identified that we need. And maybe, just maybe, him and Franco are going to make the difference. So in terms of the tactic, I've made a couple of tweaks. I've gone back to a 4-2-3-1. But with the midfielders playing as central midfielders rather than defensive midfielders. So we'll hope that those tweaks make a difference. I've got 3 different styles of it. I've got a defensive. I've got a standard tactic, if you like. I've got a defensive one and an attacking one. And we'll see how this works out. I don't want to go to any recruitment meeting. I don't think I've ever been to one since FM24 came out. Why break the habit of a lifetime? I don't know what even goes on in there, let alone even have a thought of going to one. I just know that all the other meetings tend to be as dry as ditch water, and they're like, oh God, dry as old bones, should I say. And I try to avoid those things when I can. But we have to play Tottenham now, which is going to be a real test. And we shall see how we get on. Are we going to fall backwards before we go forward? Who's disappointed there? João Gomez. Well, of course he's disappointed because everybody's playing badly. He's not achieving his. Maston Tueno pleased. But I wonder, is this affecting our results? Would it have been better for me to just give them a contract? Because now if they're disappointed, does it mean that's translating into performances on the pitch? Is that what it means? Let's just discuss Winklers. You can absolutely do this. I'm just going to say you can absolutely do this and see if they both, see if it lifts them both for a game. I know you're struggling. Let's put my arm around him. I know you're struggling, but you can absolutely do this. Let's see if that makes any difference. So Felipe might be on the way out. That's okay. He's a central defender. A growing player. Oh, my good Lord. The injuries don't seem to be letting up either, but at least they're out only for 1 to 2 days, which is good news. I don't need to be looking at transfers at the moment. Do I want to offer another target? Targets seem to be or do I want to take a more forceful stand? Let's take a more... Yeah, okay. We'll try and sell him. The players do this so many times. This is the second time he's done this. Yeah, we've already... That's why his price is where it is, because the last time, which wasn't so long ago, and he wasn't sold then, and he's not going to be sold this time. Oh, boy. I just like having him around as a backup, which he doesn't seem to like very much. We don't need to see the draw for the Carabao Cup. Oh, God, I hate these. We believe in ourselves. Future glory. We just won the Prem. That's okay. Let's have a look at the team that my assistant wants me to go with. Mane, I do like the idea of a powerful, strong fullback, I have to admit, but he's not a complete wing-back. Van Beek, is he saying, should be shifted now to... I'm going to go with his suggestions, only Mane should stay. Actually, I'm going to do it the other way because it takes me forever to reorganize his bench. So, Mane, Diamonde, Missouri, I'm going to leave it as that. Van Beek is injured anyway. Zambrano, João Gomez fits for me. Alex Scott is injured, so he will need to be changed. And Arribas probably is the best one to bring in there. Oh, Maston Tueno. This is a chance for Maston Tueno to step up. Scott can probably stay on the bench. He's been out for a while. Winkler, Corrado up front. Winkler on the wing. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Good thought. So Winkler can come back to right wing. Franco can go in here. And Corrado can play, who's come from a two-star player in such short time. He can play as the complete forward. And then my bench makes sense. Van Beek probably could play. Arribas, Valesco. Hey Neil, how are you doing? What did I make of the trailer? I thought the graphics were particularly impressive. I did like the graphics. It's probably not a bad plan, actually. I think it's, although, you know, it's not what people were thinking that it would be, and I've seen several threads where people were expecting a little bit more, but for me it looks good. I'm not in this game for world-class graphics. I do like it when they improve, of course, but graphics for me when I played this game were never what it was about. If it was just about graphics, then it might as well be called Football Spectator. For me, it was more important. It's more important to develop the inner workings, and that's what I think I'm particularly more interested in than just how it appears. A couple of questions that I have is how much power is it going to need to run those graphics? That's yet to be found. They haven't released that information. So there's a number of questions. How much will they have to take away from the game in order to put more into that side of the game? I kind of like I've still got a number of unanswered questions, if you like. And the number one unanswered question is, why haven't you given us any indication of a release date? Yes, it's nice to see the graphics, but a release date first might have been, perhaps for me, a better option. But I did say on one of your streams, I expect to look similar to FM24. I think the animating, Neil, with what we're talking about, Callum, it hasn't been released. There's no even release date. But I think, the animations are better. Definitely. The specs are already out, are they? Cleggy, how are you doing, my friend? So, I'm waiting. I would like to just know more. I've heard that it's going to be based on what we currently have now. The match engine is pretty much what we have now. That's pretty much what I've heard. And I don't know. It's I'm just waiting for more information. Is my thoughts. So let's go. Focus play down the middle. I wonder why he wants to do that. So I do have a positive, and I do have an attacking version of this. And I do have a more balanced version of this now, where the line is standard. Rather than me doing the funneling, I've just decided to try out trap outside. I didn't look. I should have looked to see how Tottenham were going to play. I suspect that they're going to play with a tiki-taka control possession style, so we'll need a high line. So we'll go with the high line. We'll go with the positive rather than the attacking. And we'll see where this goes. Winkler is upset because he's been put on the wing. There's no keeping these players happy. Yeah, my machine it's a gaming laptop. It's quite old now. It's not as old as me, but it's getting older. So I don't know how it's going to affect the performance. I think I'll be able to play it. But how much of the graphics I'll get out of it, I don't know. We are yet to see. I just kind of hope that soon they give us a release date, that it's not, as the song I uploaded recently, just don't keep me waiting, don't delay it again. Give us something so that we know it's coming. And that would be quite nice if we know it's coming. So here we go. There's a highlight very early on, within the first minute. We really do need to get some kind of a result against Tottenham. But it's not looking like the brightest of starts. But that's a good tackle. I've made some of these changes, and I've kept the tempo and the passing the same. It's what they're used to doing. So it doesn't seem reasonable to make them change in any way. And how did that stay out? And that looks over the line to me. Looks well over the line to me. Now, what is going on here? I'm like having injuries constantly. It's just constant. And this, I think, is why I'm fed up of FM24 now. Because the game is just going off on its own little adventures, leaving me behind and going off on its own little adventures. And so, fair play. Let it go off on its own little adventures. And we'll just sit back as a spectator. And the constant injuries is beginning to grate. And now red cards as well. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I just really don't know. Right. Well, we'll just let the game do its thing. But we have to have a midfielder. I will have to sacrifice. And we'll go into the more balanced way. So here's another game that's gone then. Even though we were the better team at the time. I think Miles said in one of his interview, release should be similar to what we usually get. Yeah, and that's it. There's a lot of guessing going on, a lot of guessing, and that's what we're doing at the moment. We're guessing, which is, and until we hear something much more than what we have, I just refuse to speculate about it anymore. Somebody asked me the other day in a comment in one of the videos, do I have a wish list? Only that it comes out on time, basically. Because FM24 is really, really now doing my head in. Because it's got to the point, and I think this is because it's all linked to your manager profile. So you really have to change your profile. You always have to keep changing your profile because everything is linked to previous success. And of course, in a computer game, the more successful you are, the harder it gets, until it gets to the point like this, where it's just downright impossible. Just totally impossible. And pretty much the game has just taken control now and is just making it as difficult as it possibly can make it. And you've seen how the injuries we've had, you've seen how we get 2 or 3 a week, some really bad. And you've seen how we can't sign players, how we can't sell players, standard stuff in FM that. You've seen how players are just fighting all the time. You've seen how they're not happy with contracts. It's just everything that the game can possibly throw at you. Sendings off has increased. And it's just like the fun has gone because it's just a complete nightmare now. And when the game becomes like that, then and the fun has gone, then you just think to yourself, what's the point? And at the moment, there doesn't seem to be any point whatsoever. So I think when I get FM26, I will remember that every time I start a new save, I change my manager profile. They're not catching me with that next time. Missouri. Maybe we will bring Mane over here because it's a wing back now and support. And maybe Rualt. How many subs have I made? 4. And it means I've got to use them all now, haven't I? The forwards are playing okay. In fact, everybody's playing okay, really. It's just who is the most tired. Let's take Barco off because he's a wing back and has to work hard. So, given that we've had a sending off, a bad injury, I don't suppose we're doing that bad. We're actually the better team than Tottenham, which is insane, really. But I suspect that we are going to lose. Here it is. He's been allowed to run all the way. It will be a last-minute goal for Tottenham because that's the tradition that FM has built up for me. I'd love to see future FMs in a retro database option. Yeah, but again, that's going to take up how much physical memory of the game is that going to take up, Callum? Everything is a trade-off because it's not a limitless amount of gigabytes that they have in which to build the game. Everything is a trade-off, and to put more in, you have to take something out. Well, they don't seem very happy, but they should be happy. Except for João Gomez, he should not be happy. "5 weeks. It is what it is." Corrado hasn't scored since last season. So, hopefully, because he is now the only striker that I really have, he's going to have to score. Unless my defenders are going to step up, of course. And he is absolutely knackered and he didn't play. Arribas also didn't play. Did he? Yes, he did. He came off the bench when Winkler was injured. They keep showing Max Hummels in the crowd. Oh yeah, it is. Germany are playing tonight, aren't they? Oh, we're not the worst performing. We're definitely not the best performing, that's for sure. But we're not the worst performing. We're still waiting. It's now the 1st of September. And we're still waiting on Darami to make his mind up. Transfer window. I'm not going to bother going through the transfer window. Deadline day. Because we're only after that one player. If we don't get him, we don't get him. And FM is going to have to make one of my existing players get better. Because we won't have a left winger. So that'll be quite interesting if that happens. Max Hummels. My favourite one. I can go much further back than that, James. I can go back to my two favourite German players were Franz Beckenbauer and Gerd Müller. So suppose you remember Gerd Müller. I'm only waiting for... We will try and sell Chiesa again. Which we can't do. We'll do. Let's just drop his price down a little bit. Because who are we playing? Peterborough. We'll go. I'm going to go with his squad. We should rotate. Just. Alright, squad registration. This is always a problem now. Who is this geezer? 16-year-old. Caceres doesn't need to be registered. Who is David Muir? Is he under 21? No, he's just... Let's just put him in. I don't think we're going to get away with that. Yeah, we will. See if we can add another one. I need to leave space, though, for the incoming player. So can I add another one? No. So someone's going to leave the squad. If that guy comes in, someone's going to have to leave the squad. I don't want loans. The game is only offering me loans. It will not sell players for me, but will only take players out on loan. Let's try and convince him to find a new club. He's thrilled to bits. So then go about your business, son. Oh, Darami is coming. Which means that we do have to register him now. And it means that a midfielder has to go. And of course, Keita is the perfect midfielder to go. This is not accepting, is it? Oh, well. Oh, come on. Come on. We just did this a few clicks ago. Oh, please, FM. We just did it. And then I just said it's just not taking it. Diamonde, Barco, Cacares, Timon, Beat Corrado, Joe Gomez, Alex Scott, Zambrano, Arribas, Darami, let's put the important ones in first. Newerton, Watara, Winkler, Mastantuono, Velasco. I can't do it. The button is grayed out. I cannot register my squad. The button's grayed out. I still can't do it. Even when I do auto select, I still cannot confirm selection. Yeah, but that's telling me that I don't have them. That's what that tells me at the top, Ronald. It just tells me I don't have them. So I have 1, 2, 3. So if I bring him in, I still can't do it. If I bring him in, I still can't do it. It's greyed out. Confirm selection is greyed out. Trained at the club, bring him in. I'm not allowed to bring him in now because it's gone to 25. It's just greyed out. The button is greyed out. So get clear selection, auto select, bang, nothing. I cannot register my squad. Oh, well, that's handy to have my other striker injured as well. That's like, FM is just like not stopping. That's better. There's money coming in there. He can go now. We'll see. We'll wait until the end of transfer deadline day, and if I can't register my squad, then I'm just going to stop the game. I'm afraid, because I cannot play the game if the game is going to behave in this way. It's just like, if it will not let you play, then what is the point of playing? And if it's going to cheat like that so I can't register Darami, then what is the point? This is all because I'm absolutely convinced now that it's linked. Do I want to let him go or do I want him to stay? Let him go out. Just don't overcomplicate your tactic, Ronald. Play very direct. A 4-4-2 is ideal. Playing direct football. Loans, get as many loans in as you can. Free transfers. Try to bring in big, strong players. If you won't be able to find really fast players, but the faster the better. Big, strong, fast players. That's all you need. And play direct football. Very little instructions. Just keep it as simple as you possibly can. And remember that they're not very good playing football at that level. They're not Premier League players. Keep your roles very simple. They'll understand what a box-to-box is, sure. And probably you're not going to find anybody capable of playing as a playmaker. So keep the roles very simple. A box-to-box and a ball winner in midfield. You're going to find people who can tackle, strong players, and just keep it as simple as possible. That would be my tips. I don't know if anybody in the chat wants to add anything else to that, but the simpler you can keep it, the better. And then just look for loans, look for free transfers. Right, can I do it now? Let's go auto select. Oh, we can register the squad now. Nivas, Mane, Rualt. He's gone from the squad, so that's okay. Caceres needs to come in. I don't know why he was left out. Chiesa doesn't. Muir, Royal, don't know who they are. Franca, Newton, Cartera, Winkler, Maston Twaino left out. You're having a laugh. Now we're only allowed 22. Someone's going to be upset. Who's up for sale? There are players up for sale, aren't there? Let's go to the tactic. Who's up for sale? Valesco is transfer listed, isn't he? But he's like I'm getting rid of all my strikers. 2 are injured. He's transfer listed. Caceres is needed because I'm limited. Although Caceres, I do have Missouri, Mane, Badgetic even, Rualt, so I could leave Caceres out. Left back, I've got Van Beek, Timon, and Barco. So I could leave. Caceres out. He'll get upset, but players removed, none. Left out Chiesa and Caceres. 22 I'm allowed, huh? What is this? Oh, that was for the silly me. That was for so Caceres can come back in here. No. I don't know which one this is for. This is like, it's just asked me twice. Let's go again. Yeah, basically that's it. You're not going to have any money to spend, and if you sell players, you're not going to make any money on them. So yeah, just keep it as simple as you possibly can. Is the answer to it. All your roles need to be as simple as possible. What is his problem now? Play better then. That's the key to it. Just play better. You donkey. Just mooching about the place, sulking. Just play better. Oh, they are stupid. Oh, so I've got a selection headache again. He's not sitting there. He's not sitting there. I don't even know who he is. I need to go through these and get rid of everybody I don't know. So he's injured. Darami can go onto the bench then. Franca can go onto the bench. It's probably a good time to play Franca, Darami in a game like this. He's gone, so we can move him out. He's gone, let's move him out. Zambrano. Spent a lot of money on Zambrano, but he's never fit. He's never actually been fit. Oh, come on, FM. Are you going to let me actually put my bench together now? No, won't let me put him in there. Oh, come on. This game has just died. So let's remove that. So I can't even remove it. Can I put him in this way? I can't remember who I was going to put in there now, for God's sake. Zambrano. Right. Scott is fit, can play, because he didn't play very much in the last game. Carrada, I don't know who D. Muir is. Barco can come on the bench. Barco can actually come in here. Van Beek can't play the box-to-box. Oh, God. Sorry, guys, this is taking a long time. Zambrano is never fit. He can't play. Maybe Badgetic has to come in here. Scott will have to come down there. I'm going to play Darami. And going to play Franca as well. Maston Twaino can come down. And Carrado's injured. We'll start Valesco, although he's not fit either. I'll play him as an advance forward. Franco's already gone down half a star. It says under my transfer budget that I have a very low finance balance for the upcoming year. That doesn't sound too good, Ronald, but I think any club in those lower leagues are going to be subjected to the same. I would just focus on playing on the pitch and leave the finances to everybody else. Can you quickly show how to upgrade your facilities? How to upgrade facilities? Yeah, I'm in a match now. Remind me after the game's finished, James. We're favourites for a reason. Okay. Although I don't think that's going to make any difference. My team is all over the place now. It's the worst start to the season that I've had for about 3 seasons. And we're in a mess. Defensively, we can't keep teams out. I don't know what's the matter with my defence. It was the best defence in the league last year. It's the same personnel. Nothing's changed at the back, but they can't keep teams out anymore. Attack has improved, although you wouldn't believe it. Midfield is exactly the same, but injuries have caused an absolute nightmare. But it could be one of those seasons where we suck in the league and do extremely good in the Cups and the Champions League. I'm fully expecting to sail through the Champions League group phase. I could have one player left and I'd still sail through the Champions League group phase. We could put the stewards from the car park in and they'll do just fine in the group phase in the Champions League. I think that's why I need FM26 now, because this is so predictable. It's so messy now that I just need something to distract from how poor this version is. It's got to the point where the better team always loses. It's a good question. I'm not going to be around for the beta. I'm going to be a late arrival in FM26. Oh, you can't even score that. We're just so bad at the moment. I'm not going to be around for FM26 when it begins, because I will be on holiday. I have to go and see my goddaughters. Bless them. And I've promised them I'm going, so I'm going. And so I'll be away for 4 weeks, and I won't come back till mid-November. You'll all be stuck into FM26 by then. I don't know what my first save, my beta save normally is West Ham. I always do West Ham. So I don't know what I would start with. Maybe I will start with Woking, possibly, near to where I live. I don't know. That's something I've yet to think about. Possibly when they give us a release date, I will think about it. We're going to lose this. We are absolutely pasting them. And as I said, the better team always loses at the moment. Wham, what was my favourite FM? I think there can be no shadow of a doubt in my mind that FM22 was the best version. And I think that was the time when it was at its purest, because they started work on FM25 at around that time. And you could see in FM23 that something was wrong. And it wasn't quite as good as FM22. The tinkering they had obviously done had made it just a little bit off. And then 24 has just been an absolute car crash where nothing's worked. Training doesn't work. Scouting is beyond belief. Nothing seems to work in FM24. And that's the result of experimentation, changing since they were developing. Their focus has been on FM25 and now FM26. And those 2 years, 23, 24, in my opinion, just got neglected. I think that 22 was the purest version, the one that I had the most fun playing for the year, the one that I was most reluctant to let go. I wonder if you feel this way about FM22 playing an extra. Absolutely, Jeremy. It's of no doubt bring Woking back to the Champions League. Piece of cake. I've absolutely no doubt, Jamie, that the extra year, what it's meant, I think, is that it's allowed people to get too familiar with how the mechanism of the game works. And I can almost read it like a book now. And I think that in simple terms, yes, you're right. It's just been too long. It's lingered. It's died almost on your PC. And it's not been a great version of the game either, which hasn't helped. And it is the one that we've had to play for the longest time. I think I would have quite gladly played FM22 for 2-3 seasons. I was sad when I had to let that one go. No, I'm not saying that. We have not had a lot of shots on target. We've created loads, though. I think these have to go. He's doing his old... The game's doing the old trick again. So all those need to go. So, yeah, I think we are ready for a change as a community. We're all ready for a change. Whether it's great, whether it's average, or whether it's an even worse car crash than this one, we're just ready for a change. And I think we will all be grateful, even if it is a bit of a train wreck, that it's changed, that there is another game coming. And to that end, we'll probably start playing FM26 thinking, oh my God, what is this? And then just start thinking it's okay, it's only for a year, they'll put all this right next year. And I think that's how I look at it. It's time we had a change. Yeah, I understand that sentiment entirely, Jamie. I think we're all there. Well, Darami's hit the ground running, but I would have expected to him against Peterborough. It's also done Franco the world of good by playing him as well. Getting himself a goal. Oh, we're definitely dominant. But you can see we are still not scoring enough goals. Definitely not. This should have been a 7-0 thrashing. There's complacency a little bit, yeah. Weirdly found myself doing really weird. Nothing wrong with the really weird. Scandinavian or Singapore save. Why is that weird, James? That sounds like a good idea to me. I did, if you remember at the beginning of the Journeyman, I was in Indonesia. I just thought that was awesome. And it was from there I went to Japan, which was kind of cool as well. There were places I hadn't visited in FM before. Save in Greece with Panathinaikos. Awesome. See, there's still so many places that you can go. I just don't think the game is worthy at the moment of it. I think as we've had 2 years of this now, that it's almost become too simple to read. You know what's going to happen in every game. You can almost predict when a goal is going to be scored and when you're going to concede. And things like I panic when my right winger loses it trying to dribble down the touchline. Panic sets in, we're about to concede. And I think that's just over familiarity. That's all it is. Right, they've had a good run out. Velasco, donkeys. Let's keep him as an advanced forward. He likes to play as... let's play him as a deep line forward. He likes that. Maston Tueno can go up to shadow striker then. Barco is knackered. Franca and Darami can come off. And I can't play him there. So Van Beek will have to become one of the central defenders now, since I've changed the system. Swap those over. Make it 4. Oh, he's given a penalty, has he? The German team is useless. This is the live German team you're talking about, James, yeah? Oh, Corrado has scored his first goal of the season. That means his goal drought is over. Boys, you've stopped. Will you stop doing that? Have I got Be More Expressive clicked on here? Yeah, I'm going to have to take that off, and no, they're flair players, and that's why I've clicked that on. But I think it might be holding us back, so it's allowing them too much license. So, we haven't done bad. We've drawn 1 and won 1, but that was only Peterborough. Tottenham drawing most of the game, 10 men. When is the next game? 4 days. With a squad of only 22. Have a rest, boys. Manchester United is around the corner. Not yet, Jamie. I think I was just saying I think I'd like to start with Woking, but I'm not sure that that's where I really want to start. It's just an instinctual answer. I'd like to do a journeyman, I think, to begin with. But where I will begin, I don't know. I liked where I began last time. So I don't want to begin somewhere that's familiar. Maybe Korea. Maybe I will start in Korea or somewhere like that. I don't know. A journeyman that begins in far off places. We don't need to see that either. We've got Hull. Hull are in what division now? Championship. Should be okay. Now I need to, oh, come on. The other striker's out now. Come on, FM. Stop it. So I don't have any strikers now. Fair enough, I suppose. Kieta's not registered. Somehow think about what my best team would be. Barco here, maybe Van Beek alongside. Is it Mane or Diamonde? Diamonde. He's gone down, has he? So we'll just try Mane. As Diamonde's always complaining that he needs a rest. Or maybe put Mane here. He's not a complete wing back though. But we can try him. And we will... He should be on support anyway. Let's put him as a wing back on support. Or a full back on support. And then Diamonde. This defence picked itself last season. It was just so cool, so good a defence. Now it's just awful. João Gomez can come back. Zambrano can play. Can he play as the centre mid, Zambrano? Is that why? That's why I brought him in, wasn't it? Yeah, he's a centre mid, so he can go instead of João Gomez, which means that Bajcetic continue because he's playing well. Well, Bajcetic is not a DLP. And he can play as a DLP. And I guess I have to play Franco as well as Darami because my options are limited. And then Scott is fit again. And he's gone down. And Corrado's out. Oh, Velasco is still okay, isn't he? And he can play as an advance forward. Meslier can come back and go. Let's put him on attack. He's on defense, so it should be okay. We've also... So let's put Barco on support. Let's balance this properly. And we can have this wing back on attack. He needs to be on support, doesn't he? He's not very good as an attacker. But we'll see how that works out. And then we'll have Missouri, Rualt. Is Timon fit yet? Yeah, Timon. João Gomez. Arribas, who might have to come back into midfield now. Newerton. Utara. And Maston Tueno. Interesting. Short in midfield again for some reason. It's because Van Beek is now not able to perform the midfield role. But I can always use him in midfield and just drop him down into a DM role. Zambrano. No, I'm going to go with what I picked. I've already got Maston Tueno up there, no Velasco. I'm going to go with what I picked. Velasco has to get back into form. I don't see us as being good enough to win. I don't know how we won the Prem last year. I just really don't know how that happened. The game had a brain fart. That's all I can just think about it in terms of. And not only that, but we won the Europa League as well. Like, come on. Total brain fart that was. João Gomez handed a further 2-match ban. There's no point in appealing. It was a bad challenge. Three one, a goal from Wirtz, eh? I am going to go back to balanced. I'm going to try balanced rather than attacking. João Gomez is banned. That's left a hole then, isn't it? So I'm going to take Van Beek out, put Rualt in. And I'm going to put Van Beek in here, but I'm going to pull him back. Into that role. Now, how come he can play as a DLP here, but he can't play as a DLP there? Like, does he get lost on the pitch, or what happens to him? Well, I actually don't have anybody who can fill that gap, so... With a small squad, I'm going to really struggle here. Oh no, we don't do never press. You're having a laugh. Let's exact revenge on them. Avenues and ex-Newcastle player called Mikel Merino. Yeah, Merino, he was an Arsenal player, wasn't he? Was he an ex-player? Who's that? They've still got... Arsenal have still got a Merino playing for them, though, haven't they? Pretty sure they have. Need these two big winger signings to really come up with the goods. If not, we are doomed. I think the line is too high. Mason Mount, he's always a menace. That was offside by a mile anyway. I'm not sure best player is the words I'd use. I think he's trying harder than anybody else at the moment. He certainly is putting effort in. I wouldn't say he's the best player, But he's certainly, James, trying hard, whereas the rest of the team don't really seem to be bothered. Which makes him stand out rather than his technical ability. Or any of the other things that... Oh, we've taken the lead, have we? That was because I pulled the line back. That's because, of course, I know Manchester United play wing play. And without even having to check, Hoyland's pulling all the strings. That's that's a complete lie, FM. Hoyland is not good enough to pull all the strings. Has he got a long shot in FM? Not really, but who is my best marking defender? Is it Rualt? 14, is it Diamonde? 15. Somebody's got to track him then. Difficult to know if there is a best player for United at the moment. I think time will have to tell. I think Mbuemo looks better than Cunha of the two. Mbuemo is settled quicker. But we still don't look much like an attacking force. Not really going to trouble defences too much. I support Manchester United, wham. Been a Manchester United supporter since I was 5 years old, and that's a long time, I can tell you. Oh, we've got a highlight here from the kickoff. Which one is going to score? Kobe Maino is a handful. On the left-hand side. We always struggle against this team. Arsenal, United, Arsenal, City, Liverpool, we don't seem to struggle against as much as Man United. And I don't know why that should be. Diamonde is not at his best, is he, this season? He looks poor. Looks really poor. Yeah, I feel bad for me, Ronald. Trust me. It will come in time. It will come in time. What's he given there? Just a yellow. That's an odd highlight. Who do you support, Wham? Yeah. Who's your team? They didn't react at all to that. No, we're not having this. We're not doing all this, sunshine. This is a trap. That I've fallen into far too much. Thomas the Frank Engine. Spurs fan, huh? Well, I got to admit they are playing a lot better this year. Defensively, they look so solid. Oh, Velasco's suddenly woken up. It's so interesting that also Spurs have got the defenders fit, and that really hurt them. Last season, losing Van der Ven, then Romero got injured. In fact, they all got injured, didn't they? So Spurs' form can be explained. United's form was just United being United. Have you thought about asking some videos about the history of FM? I've pretty much lived it, Jamie. Pretty much lived the history of FM. I haven't actually. I've only been around since FM 11, but that's enough. That's like 15 years almost since I first began playing FM. I think that's enough for one person. But there have been times when the game not only was heartbreak and chronically bad, but there were times when the game was has brought times of sheer joy. Van Beek is tired, so we can now lift up. We can now play Bajcetic here. I don't want to change the shape of that at the moment, except that I am going to bring him back and play him as a box-to-box, bring him a little deeper. Missouri can come on here, a little bit more pace. Zambrano, you're just going to have to go on. Arribas could come in there, though, but I don't think he's a very good central midfielder. He's a playmaker more than anything. We could bring him in if necessary, because we just change Bajcetic to a DM and make him a deep line playmaker. And then I think I'll leave it at that for now. The rest are just ticking over. We've only played 4 games in the entire of last season with our starting defence. Yeah, so Spurs can be forgiven for last season without a doubt. But I do think that teams had found out Postecoglou last year and the high defensive line he was playing. Teams were able to play against that. Ah, bloody hell. When are we going to win, guys? Have you been... What was that, John? I was working there. I was working there, John, for 16 years. That's why those are my links to Southeast Asia. And now I have 3 adopted daughters, Filipino daughters. Those are my links to Southeast Asia. And also, I will probably retire there at some point in the next few years, just so that I can be near to them. So, yeah, I have a lot of links to Southeast Asia, a lot. No, this was so many tired players. Yeah, it's 17 years, 16, 17 years I worked there. I have 3 adopted Filipino daughters now as well. I miss them. They miss me. It's natural I will finish my days there. I think Franco probably needs a break, so Utara can come on. But I also think it's important to get Diamonde off. Where's my central defenders, though? I can't get Diamonde off, unfortunately. But Arribas can come in here and play as a DOP. And Bajcetic can revert to a defensive midfielder. See how that goes. Your wife is Filipino. Ah, excellent, Jamie. Super stuff. Not Manila. And I actually don't mind Manila for a couple of days. But I couldn't live there forever. But I will be close to Manila because I will be in Batangas. So it's not far away from Manila, but it's rural enough that it's actually out of the way. Are we going to stop drawing at some point, guys, and get a win under our belts? A draw away against United, though, got to be a good performance. Are we steadying the ship? Not really. We contrast that to last year. Last year was just rocking and rolling. No, we're not steadying the ship at all. This is not pretty. 2 wins in all of that lot. Players who are getting dead on their feet. And we're only barely 5 games into the season. I used to live in Malaysia. I know Malaysia very well. I've travelled a lot to Malaysia. KL is one of my favourite cities. I lived in Malaysia when I was a very small boy. And I think it was my links to the Southeast Asia from that small young boy age that drew me back. I am writing, funny you should say that, mention all this about Southeast Asia. I'm actually writing my book at the moment, which is a kind of story of my life, but done in a different way. It's called A Walk with an Angel. Of course, a lot of my book features around Southeast Asia. Of course, it was going to. And yeah, it's bringing back all kinds of memories writing that. Do you adopt sons? They're not actually adopted by legally. I've just kind of become like a father to them, and they've become like daughters to me. So they're not actually legally adopted. They're just young girls that I nurtured as teachers and then nurtured in life. And we've just become very, very close. And I don't know, don't ask me how it happened. I don't know is the answer to that. But I'm very fortunate that they blessed my life. And it's been something special. I feel very fortunate. So let's have a look at this bench, because he always messes up the bench. This might be a chance to play Rualt, but I'm not sure he's much of a cover defender. Oh, he is. He's okay. But Diamande should go on the left, I believe. No, he's the right, isn't he? Get there in the end. Yeah, my father, Jamie, was in the Fleet Air Arm, and we were drafted to Malaysia and Singapore between the age of when I was 9 to 12. And I got my sense of living in Asia from there, for sure. Although I didn't go back to live there till I was much later. But definitely it came from there. What's the craziest thing that happened to you in Asia? Interesting question, John. There were many, many crazy things that happened to me. I suppose having dinner dressed in a scruffiest, dirtiest pair of shorts with a t-shirt with holes in it, with the next king of Jogja, was the craziest thing that ever happened to me. And sitting down on the floor with him, drinking beer, playing chess, is still a little bit surreal in my memory. Yeah, that probably is the craziest thing. Am I allowed 12 subs in the Champions League? Surely not. The King of Jogjakarta. Jogjakarta is a small kingdom based around the city of Jogjakarta. And it still has a king, which is kind of quaint. But yeah, I had dinner with the heir to the throne one night. Me and my girlfriend Ivy were very privileged to be there. Is the book going to be about your YouTube life or just my personal life and family? YouTube will come into it, but it will have a very small part to play. My personal life mostly, and how it's subtitled My Journey of Survival, Guidance and Search for Meaning. And it's a chronicle of how I've come to my beliefs now, basically. It's just basically, it's going to examine what my beliefs are in terms of what life is about, why we are all here. So these guys are getting fit then, are they? Oh no, he's not fit. 2 weeks? You can't sit on the bench. We'll have a small bench. He probably shouldn't be on the bench either, but he's coming back to training tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, how well do you know Asia, John? If you are a constant traveller in Asia, you'll know crazy things happen in Asia. You'll just know that. You lived in Kota Kinabalu. Awesome. That's so cool, Jamie. It's just like how many paths may have crossed. John, my wife is Chinese. I've been to China and Japan. Countries that I went to China once, but only for a conference. So I didn't really get to see anything apart from a busy shopping centre and nothing really that was interesting. Nothing I couldn't see anywhere else. But I always wanted to travel to Japan. I always wanted to see Mount Fuji against a backdrop of cherry blossoms. Whether that's going to be possible now, I don't know. Hopefully one day. Hopefully we can still do that. Coached and taught English for the academy. That sounds like an absolutely super job, Jamie. It sounds like the job of dreams. Fuji, yeah. I think you're right. I think Mount Fuji is just like such an exceptional place. And I think I'd still like to go and see it. I still need to try and make it happen. Me and my girls, we have this saying that it's just simple. We've got it written on bags. Make it happen. It's things that when we have things to do, we just tell each other, make it happen. And I need to bear that in mind when I'm thinking about Mount Fuji. I need to make it happen. Is Maston Twaino the right person to do that job? I don't know, but the team are all right. They're green this time. Altitude sickness. You're a climber, James. Wow, awesome. I don't want to climb it. I want to photograph it. So I need a strong defense today. I went to China in 2000, then went in recent years after meeting my wife in Japan. Your wife is Japanese or Chinese? I think you said Chinese, yeah, but you met her in Japan. Definitely worth visiting. China is not a good place. Why would you say China? Is that a political reaction or because it's not worth seeing as a place? Is he a hard tackle? Probably. Not him. And he is as well. Univa. Didn't he used to play for me at Ipswich? Yes, he did. He was one season at Ipswich, 2025-26. Bet you scores. I'm all done with that, aren't I? This is one of these 5 at the backs. Yeah, I think the Japanese culture's always fascinated me, John, very much. It's always been that part of the world, that eastern part of the world, is etched deep into my character. It's etched deep into my way of being as well, in terms of how I live life. I just love that part of the world. Even as a young kid, when I was between 9 and 12, I had what we called an amour. You probably don't see them anymore. They were young girls who um, they were just basically poorly paid servants to households, and she became like a substitute mother for me. She was her name was Achu, so we had, as kids, had a lot of fun with that. But she became like a mother, and I was heartbroken when I had to say goodbye to her. And she taught me so much about her by telling me stories about her country, her family, her traditions, and left a mark on me even as a young kid. Get in, Maston Twaino. I did question whether he was the right person to start today. Hold hands up, he definitely was. Japan is your dream holiday too. Yeah, there's a part of me that is drawn to Japan. I have to go there, and like I say, I have to make it happen. Um, Even if it's just to go for a month or so, just to stand by the cherry blossoms, be photographed by Mount Fuji. I'd also like to see Tokyo. I love big cities. Um, and I think that Tokyo, when I see Tokyo in video or in pictures, it just has this such a colorful, like, Japan is almost like seems to be the most colorful place in the world. It's like full of vibrant colors, and I want to see if it's true. Is it really true? that's this, that's the curiosity part of me. Yeah, a traveler I have been, and a traveler I will remain. It hasn't made me rich, not in money, but it's made me very wealthy in experience. It's the way I look at it. Italy. So you're a cheese lover then, Callum, I guess. Cheese and pasta. I'm not a fan of UK, Jamie. I'm not. I I know where I would like to be sitting right at this moment, but I had to come back. I was seriously sick. If you've followed me for a year or so, I was seriously ill, and I had to return. And now that I'm fixed again, oh, we don't often see those, but nicely done. Now that I'm fixed again and my heart is working as good as anybody's, the urge to go again, to live again, has come back. They need a shout. They're not doing very well. Why? I think what I'm going to do is not that. What I'm going to do after this highlight. See, I'm allergic to cheese, Callum. Italy has got to be out for me. I wouldn't eat for a fortnight. Oh, nice. Nice. That's definitely not offside. But there is one thing I need to do. Nice goal. That piece of football reminds me how we used to play last season. Just that one piece of football. Does that give me hope? Not really. They are playing with a back five. So let's deal with the first things first. We don't need to do that. And then we will deal with my substitutions. Franca's done. Who is better to come in there? That's a good question. Who is better to come in there? Arribas, probably. Mastantuono. Is Corrado fit? So let's take Arribas back. And let's bring Mastantuono back here. And then bring Corrado back on. Let's get him back up to fitness. Let's play him as a deep. And then we'll play a shadow striker. And then Missouri for Mane. Timon's on a yellow card. But we'll leave Timon. Durrami is tired. That's where Arribas can come in. And Scott is tired. And now what I want to do is we're going to go into this shape. Because if they're sitting back, then it just might draw them out a little bit. No, I'm... Oh, not another injury. You are just pulling my chain here. Goalkeeper this time. Mind you, Meslier is not really that big a loss. What would happen if I'd made my 5 subs then? Would I have to play without a goalkeeper? Maybe that's why FM decided to do it then. Because if my 5 subs were played, I would have had to play without a goalkeeper. Or one of the players would have gone into goal, I guess. Offside, that's offside. I didn't know you're allergic. Yeah, definitely allergic. I have been. They've known since I was about 6, I think. Oh, it's awarded. I thought he was miles offside. Oh, it's close. It's very close. Have to put an outfield player in goal. Well, I tell you what, though, Callum, he probably wouldn't play as bad as Meslier. I thought he was going to be a good signing when I brought him in. But we have got the win. But then I told you that Champions League we will breeze through. Premier League will be horrid, but we'll just breeze through the Champions League. And we will probably win a cup as well. But Premier League, I imagine 15th. Unless we start to play football similar to this, because this is kind of like how we played last year. High tempo, very quick interchange. And it's starting to look like we're starting to play a little bit of football. Although we can't really yet determine. I think we've had two good results against Tottenham and against United. 0-0 against Tottenham with 10 men pretty much at most of the game is, I think, a decent result. And then the 2-2 against United, the team we can never beat. I guess not bad. Hi, David. Good to see you. Glad you can make it. Must be. Never, Callum. I think that kind of defeats the object about pizza, doesn't it? No, there are other foods I can eat. And I'm much happier, I think, with the foods of Vietnam and the Philippines than I would ever be with the foods of Italy or France. The Ipswich save is in the balance at the moment. In the balance. We still don't know about Real Madrid. They are making that decision last a long time. They're taking an age to decide what to do about that job. And we need to check in to see who is still. Am I still the favourite? Has the job gone? Now, what I like about live streaming, lechon for sure. That the way they do the pork in lechon is just something. Lechon for sure, yeah. What I like, as I say, what I like about live streaming this is the community that come, because often you just talk amongst yourselves, you just look after yourselves, and it's so cool that you seem to know each other, like James saying, hey, how's it going, David? And earlier James and Callum were exchanging stuff, and it's so cool to see that you guys are not reliant on me to talk to you. You just like get on with it yourselves, and I just love that. I think it's absolutely awesome that you've kind of like got to know each other so well, and you're comfortable. I don't often see. I go to other streams and stuff, and I don't often see people talking to each other. They're talking to the focal point, the person who's streaming, but I don't often see people talking to each other. And yet in my streams, sometimes I feel like I'm being ignored. That you guys are just going off on your own threads and stuff, which is great. I think it's awesome. It's getting better, perhaps, I would say, David. No more than that. But a 6-0 thrashing of Ajax. I don't need to tell them anymore. What am I doing? A 6-0 win. Maybe we are going to come back. Maybe it was just a bad start. We shall see against Liverpool. 2 to 3 months, huh? Aribas. Zoltan Kinnick. I've no idea who he is. Let's hope he's not called upon. Right, okay. So it's not been bad. I want to check, as we've gone through another 3 weeks or so of the season, and it's gone. The Real Madrid job has gone. I wonder who got it. I was the favourite, but yeah, it's gone. So that door is closed anyway. It's the Premier League that worries me. We're 9 points adrift of Arsenal now. Liverpool are next. And that does worry me. Our Premier League, we have to keep our Premier League momentum following on from last season. We have to keep that going. But we will be back. This has been one of my favourite saves I've seen you do. It has not been my favourite save I've ever done, Callum. But I guess watching it and watching my ups and downs and my tantrums and has probably made it kind of funny for you guys. Knowing that you're not alone, you're not the only ones who shout at your computers and stuff. I suppose there is that to it. There are other streamers that I do follow that are the same, because as other commodities I follow are yes, Jamie, sorry. Other streamers I follow that are the same, because as other communities that I follow and are involved with. Okay. So I'm going to go and get a cup of tea now, and I'm going to work for an hour on my book again before I go to sleep and do it all again tomorrow. I'm not going to stream every day. I'm going to come back on Tuesday, and we'll take it up again from Tuesday. The good news is we haven't lost today. We've won 1. We've drawn 2 and won 2. So the good news is we haven't lost a game tonight. And we have made what I consider to be a very good signing in Durrami. I think he could prove very useful. And his value's gone up enormously since we brought him in for 50-something thousand. So I think he's going to prove to be a very good signing. So I think it's not all lost. And I will be back on Tuesday and we'll pick it up again. In the meantime, if you haven't yet, go and take a look at the song that I uploaded the other day. If you haven't seen that, the FM26 song. And don't forget, guys, to give us a like, because I know how easy it is to watch stuff and then forget to like it. So if you're sitting there, give us a like before you go. And help the channel. Just help me motivate me to keep coming back and to drag me away from other things that I'm doing. And thank you, Ronald. We shall hopefully see you on Tuesday. And to every other one of you, even the ones who want me to shut up and so they can talk amongst themselves. And yes, even to you. Thank you for coming and for making my day again, and for cutting through what would be the boredom of life for me. I had to BRB, deaf to Tokyo. I've been to US, Europe, Russia, China, Japan. You've travelled a lot, John. Travelled a lot. Experiences that one day will mean a lot to you, if not already. I mean, I've no idea how old you are. I suspect you've been travelling most of your life. And maybe one day, John, you need to write a book. Like me, you need to write a book to preserve it and to guide others, help others to see what you've seen. Thank you guys for coming. And yes, Callum, always let me know. And I shall see you on Tuesday. And once again, it's been an absolute pleasure. Take care, be safe, and see you on Tuesday.